Thank you for joining Cancer Support Community Atlanta for this program. Please visit our website, cscatlanta.org, for a complete list of live and recorded events. We invite you to sign up for our newsletter to stay connected to all future programs.
Let's go. All right. So everybody said they came for the energy bites, but you have to eat your broccoli first. So we're going to make a broccoli Caesar salad. So this broccoli Caesar salad has a vegan Caesar dressing. So we're going to learn how to make vegan Caesar dressing. You can use that for any kind of salad that you want. You don't have to use it with broccoli. Again, romaine work, plain old Caesar salad. But it's a really good dressing. We're using cashews as the base. So they're going to make it really, really creamy. I think you guys saw me do something with chickpea bean juice. It's called aquafaba. We use that as a thickening agent for salad dressings. Today we're going to use cashews. So cashews work really nice for Caesar dressing. We have nutritional yeast. We have mustard, capers, lemon, garlic, and oil. That's it. Very simple. We're going to throw it in the NutriBullet. You can use a hand mixer. You can use a blender, whatever you want. The only requirement for this is to soak your cashews. So you need to soak the cashews to get them soft. You know, cashews can be a little tough, but when they soak overnight, they get really soft. These did not soak overnight. I'm guilty of that, but we're going to break them down anyway. So you'll get to see what happens when you don't soak them overnight, but they're still really soft. We're going to drain the water. We're going to use the nuts and blend it up. So we're going to make that. We're going to make some homemade croutons. Very simple. French bread, some rosemary that I have, a little oil. We're going to blend that oil with some Earth Balance. I forgot to bring garlic powder. I'm sorry. But they're still going to be very good. Okay. And the broccoli salad. So the broccoli salad has watercress. I picked up some really nice watercress. Can be a little spicy. Arugula works well. Any other kind of green, a bean, sprout, anything you want to mix with that you can, or leave it all out and just do broccoli. I chose some olives today for that, some sliced red onion, little red cabbage, which I don't think was in the recipe, but I just picked it up anyway. Just to show you guys you can add whatever you want to your salad. But the key is to have a lot of different things for good flavors and also a good salad dressing, which we have. Croutons, hopefully everybody likes to eat bread. We're going to toast up some homemade croutons and make it really simple and good. Let's see, any questions on that so far? We're going to knock that out. The one thing we are going to do with the broccoli, I will share this with you. A lot of times in the restaurant, we would leave the broccoli. I'm going to show you guys how to peel the stalks so we're not throwing away stalks. But also, we would use it raw. It's okay, right? Raw broccoli's good. But we're going to blanch it. So I have a pot of water with just a little bit of salt in it. I want to cut these florets. I bought some already cut just to save us some time. About that big, right? I'll show you how to break down the whole broccoli. It's cheaper if you just buy the whole broccoli. Plus you get these beautiful stalks that you can trim up, and they're really good as well. The thing about blanching, we only want to blanch it for a minute. But what it's going to do, it's going to help get rid of that grainy flavor that broccoli has, and it's just going to make it a little more tender and easier to chew with our salad. And make it brighter and greener, so it's going to look really, really nice. So we have that. The energy bites, these are a lot of fun. How many people? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 people. Awesome. So what I wanted to do is have like a little interactive group where I can set up a little station up here, maybe over there. You guys can come up. I'm going to demo one, and then you guys can customize your own sort of thing if you want to do that. They're pretty fun to make. The main ingredient for this would be some kind of nut butter you need. I have peanut. I also picked up some almond butter. Sunflower seed butter works. Tahini works, the sesame. That works well. Any kind of nut butter, but you need some kind of binding agent. Dates are really good in there. Good for you as well. Oats are nice. Any kind of just regular plain oat. I would not, again, not use steel cut oats. I would just use the old-fashioned oats. Maybe a syrup. I have coconut. I have chocolate chips. Yay. I have cranberries, pumpkin seeds, pecans. We have almonds, cashews, cocoa powder, cinnamon. Any kind of spices work nice if you want different spices that you have that you want to add to it. But this is really up to you. And these are great if you make them the day before. Put them in your refrigerator. They transport a little easier. You're going to notice today they're just going to be a little softer because they're warm. But if you make them the day before, roll them up, put them on a sheet pan if you want, like this, and then put them in your refrigerator. You don't have to cover them. Just let them chill overnight, and then you can put them, if you're going to work or wherever you're going, if you just want to eat them at home, great. But you can put them in a to-go container, and they'll hold up. They'll hold their shape. But yes, any kind of things that you want to use in there, dry flax, any kind of dried fruit, coconut, again, chocolate chips. There's just tons of different things that you might have in your pantry. Ground coffee, even if you want a little extra boost, you can do that. So that's a lot of fun. It's something easy, quick in the morning if you just want to eat them, or as a midday snack. They work really well, and they're fun to make. So, any questions on what we're doing? No? Let's dive in. Go. So it depends on what you're using as your ingredient. I can't speak specifically on all the nutritional information because it's based on, I don't really have a recipe per se, so we're just kind of building something without a recipe. I'm sure you could look something up on the internet about energy bites and get a rough ratio on, if your main component is the peanut butter, you can see what's on the label for the peanut butter. I would recommend using some sort of nut butter, some sort of, I would use a date is really nice, and then the oats help kind of bind everything together as well. So if you take those ingredients, you could probably get your nutritional analysis on the carbs and the protein and things like that. Does that make sense? Okay. That's a good question. Okay, so we said we're gonna trim up our broccoli. I sure hope everybody likes broccoli. Everyone likes broccoli? Good. Okay, good. You're in the wrong place if you don't like broccoli. But that's what we're doing today. So what I would do with my broccoli, I already have my pot of water going because I didn't want to wait for that. So we have that. We have, this is going to go really fast. So what I would do, I would get some ice in a bowl. All right. Have that ready to go. I would have a colander ready to go. This is a very fast process. So we have that. This is really easy. So you're at home, you take off your stem, right? And again, we don't want to throw the stem away. We want to cut the broccoli up into maybe quarters, nice size. Like so. Okay. A lot of broccoli. We're in good shape. You guys are going to eat a lot of broccoli today. Okay. So with the stem, the stalks, I guess, what I like to do is remove that bottom end because it is a little fibrous. If you take off about an inch or so off the bottom, and then you can either take your peeler and peel. You want to peel the outer skin of the the stock, okay? Or you can just use your knife. That's what I'm going to do today. This is really good though. We don't need to blanch that. So what we're going to do, we can throw this into the water. 1 minute or so. Longer if you want it softer. I don't want to get it too soft because you don't want a salad that's going to be mushy, right? Any questions on this? I put a little bit of salt in my water. That's going to help keep everything nice and green. When I say a little bit, I have probably, I don't know, 3 gallons of water, maybe a tablespoon of salt. Okay. Push that down. Nice and green. About a minute. Okay. So again, we're just peeling this stalk. Any questions? You guys are so quiet. Go ahead. The water was at a rolling boil. As rolling as I could get it up here. And then it's gonna stop boiling when you throw all the broccoli in. All right. So we got rid of that tough broccoli skin, and we're left with some stalks, right? So with those, maybe I would cut them in half because you don't want them really long. You want something about like that. And then at that point, you can just slice them into little sticks, right? It seems like a lot of work, but it's really not, and I hate wasting. It seems like broccoli, there's so much waste with the stalk, and this is a good way to use up all those little bits. And it's very, very tender. It's great in soup. If you guys make broccoli soup, you can do the same thing. Just shred that off and then throw those bits into your soup. So that was about a minute. We're just going to strain it, and then we're going to throw it in our ice bath to cool it down. We'll throw our ice right back into our pot. Okay. I'm going to throw a little bit more ice on top of that. You want to make sure your water is really cold. The goal is to stop the cooking process. So you can go right back into your pot. Make sure you have water in there. Then you can just let it sit until you're ready. And then we're going to strain that back out, and we're good to go. Okay. Any questions on that process? Very easy, right? Super easy. You can blanch anything like that. So if you're blanching carrots or whatever, just remember a little bit of salt to keep the color, and then a nice cold ice bath to stop the cooking process. Almost there. Okay. Here we go. We are going to do salad right here. So we're just going to throw those ingredients in that bowl right there. Next up, we are going to slice our onion. Everyone like onion? Okay. No? Yes? Okay. Everybody. Good. Onion again. I take off the top. Those if you've been here. Root. I'm going to cut that in half. Hold it together like that. Take the skin off. We don't need a lot of onion, just a little bit. just going to slice it really thin. If you have this works well. If you have one of those, you can do that. Try to avoid those with demos in case I cut my finger, and I would be very embarrassed. So those are very sharp, so be careful. My father-in-law, a week ago, he was using one of those. He cut his thumb so bad. Yeah, it cut the nail and everything, and he still had to, it was like 2 weeks later, he's still going to the doctor to get it. They had to cauterize it and everything, because you can't stitch that once you cut your finger. So now that I grossed you guys out, those are very sharp, so be careful. I would just rather everybody be careful when slicing. Okay, so that onion is very thin. Okay. There you go. Next up is cabbage. Everybody like cabbage? I have to ask. All right. I like to respect everybody's likes. Okay. So that I just cut in half. You have a root. I'm sure you guys are all familiar with cabbage. I'm just going to pop that out like that. Very easy, right? Maybe cut it in half again into a quarter. And then we're just going to, just like the onion, just going to shred it. Not too much cabbage. I like a lot of crunchy textures in my salads, so all those things are good for you as well. Is red healthier than green? I would say from some perspectives, perhaps. They say colorful vegetables have more like antibody, a lot of debates about food, right? Nothing can be proven 100%. There's so much information out on the internet about all those different things, so you get back and forth conversations about those things. So. Okay. Okay. Crouton. I pick French bread. Any kind of, if you have older bread laying around the house, maybe ciabatta bread. You buy bread at the store. Sometimes we buy bread like a 4-pack of buns or rolls, and you use 3 of them. You have 1 left. Instead of leaving it on your counter, maybe throw it in the freezer if you have space, and then you can come back to it and make croutons out of it. Just chop it up. Ciabatta bread's great. French bread's great. Any kind of Italian bread that you have, you can pull it back out when it's time to make croutons. So it works well. So we're going to preheat our skillet. We're going to make these in a skillet. Then I'm going to throw them on a sheet pan so everybody gets some. I'm going to have to work in batches here. But if you're home and you only need some for yourself, maybe half of this would work in that skillet. So it says heat a pan over medium heat, add olive oil. We're going to do that. I also like to do, because I don't like following recipes, I will add a little this margarine, earth balance to it as well. I like to use butter and olive oil together. Sometimes when making croutons, you get good flavor. The olive oil helps the butter from burning. So if you're using both, you can get good flavor with your butter or your margarine, and it won't burn because you have your oil in there, which is controlling your smoke point. Okay? Does that make sense? You need quite a bit of oil here, and don't be alarmed. I'm making a lot of croutons, so we have a lot of oil in here. We're going to add that first. Get that going. I have a pair of tongs. And then we're going to cut this into cubes. I like to leave them kind of big. It's easier to work with. Any questions? No? Is this too easy? Too hard? Making you hungry? Yeah, I'm hungry too. So if I was at home, I'd probably be nibbling on this bread right now. Yeah. But since you guys are in front of me, that would be rude. We're going to use rosemary as a flavor ingredient. You can use, if you have thyme, you want to use thyme. You don't want to use any herbs at all, you can do that as well. Where's my rosemary? Here's my rosemary. Nope. They do not have to be fresh herbs. You can use dried herbs if you want. I prefer fresh for the croutons. Dried herbs have a weird flavor sometimes. So I like to throw those right in there. I just break them up with my hands. You don't have to chop them or anything like that. Make it really easy on yourself. If you have granulated garlic, that works well in here. This is really easy. And I just throw those in. We're going to do 2 rounds of that. The rosemary is going to get nice and crispy, which is nice. You can even add a little salt if you want. And pepper. Yeah, we're just going to let those toast away. So they're going to brown up. And then we're going to throw them on here. I'm going to, just because I'm making so many, if you were home just making this for yourself in the skillet, that would be fine. You wouldn't need to use it in the oven. You wouldn't need to put them in the oven. You can get them completely brown. All you're going to need to do is just turn them over when they're brown on one side. Sometimes you got to go multiple sides if you have bread, like 4 different sides or whatever. But being this baguette is crispy on one side already, we don't need to worry about that. But since I want to make enough for everybody, I'm going to throw them on a sheet pan. So if you have a large crowd like the holidays or whatnot, you would maybe want to use a sheet pan. And then you can just toss them all in the oven when you have them all on your sheet pan, and they'll toast up nice for you in the oven. So you're just doing multiple rounds. Keep an eye on those. Okay, so then we have our dressing. Trying to get organized here. Okay. I'm going to drain that water off the cashews. We don't want that. Good. Again, soak those overnight. Get them really nice and soft. If not 2 days, they'll practically smash in your fingers. It's really good. Yeah, these are getting nice and toasted now. You can smell that.
Hey, Mike,
Talk to me.
are those raw cashews?
Those are raw cashews. You can use salted. You can use toasted. It's fine. The only thing you're going to have to watch if they're salted, maybe roasted, is how much salt you're going to add to your salad dressing when you make it. I have capers here, so you guys are familiar with capers. They have some salt in them as well, so we're going to be very careful about not adding. We're probably not going to need to add any salt to our salad dressing. Good question. I prefer raw for that. And the raw ones will break down a lot easier. Okay, let's do one more round. Make sure everybody has enough croutons. Medium. Yeah. Another way to do this, if you don't want to take up your counter space and you're busy with a lot of other things, you can cube up the bread. You can get a bowl like this, put everything in a bowl, toss it around. Just make sure that the croutons have plenty of oil on them and seasonings or whatever you want to do. If there's different spices that you want to do, toss them in the bowl with the oil, lay them on a sheet pan, throw them in a 350, probably 10 minutes or so, and you're good to go. That way you're not dirtying a skillet and you're leaving your space open for cooking. Make sense? All right. All right, so again, medium heat. A little bit of oil. We have some rosemary bits left over. That's good. Again, don't be frightened by the amount of oil I use. That's a lot of croutons. Do a little bit of butter. So just one more time, the oil helps keep the butter from burning. Just going to throw the rest of those. Remember, any herb will work. Time works well if you have time. There you go. I was waiting. Thank you. He'll be here all day. There we go. Croutons are working. Yep. Okay. Cashews. So we have our cashews. We drained them. So we have capers we're going to use. We have mustard that we're going to use, emulsifier. We have nutritional yeast, which we've learned has lots of umami and cheese-like flavor for our dressing. So 2 routes with that. You can either put it in your dressing or you can mix it in your broccoli salad if you want to do it that way, or if you want to do it both, you can put it in your dressing, you can put it in your salad, depending on how much of that cheesy flavor you like. Okay? We're just going to put it in our dressing today. So nutritional yeast, capers. We have some raw garlic, which is fun. Another ingredient is lemon juice. Occasionally I will use Worcestershire sauce in there as well. The thing with that, remember it has anchovies in it, so if you have folks that don't eat meat or whatnot, you wouldn't want to use that. Some Worcestershire sauces do not have that anchovy in it, but it does have a lot of, again, umami. Yes, ma'am. It has a little bit of benefits in it. If you read the label, has a little bit of calories. There is sodium in it, but no carbs. I'm sure there's something good. There's some potassium in there. Okay, but there's a lot of flavor in this jar. No, there wouldn't be any protein in there, I don't think. Any dietitians in the house today? No. I believe we did in the lentil soup, yeah. If I'm using it here on a demo, it's for flavor. Yeah, it's definitely for flavor. I like it. It adds a lot for nutritional yeast. Oh, umami. It's a taste that we have in our mouth. It's one of our sugar, salt, sweet, acid, umami. We're going to throw that in the oven. You're in charge of that oven. Don't let me forget. Give me about 4 or 5 minutes in there. Remember that? When we started today, I said that I did not bring the garlic powder. I thought we had some garlic powder. But we're going to put garlic in the dressing. I have raw garlic. That'll work. $3.50. Mm-hmm. $3.50. Okay, so with this, we have our 1 garlic clove. It's not coming from up here.
Okay, all good. All good. We just want to make sure. I know Christy and I are new around here with mice, so the kitchen probably. Yeah, we forgot.
Yeah, we're not burning anything, so I think we're in good shape. Our broccoli's chilling. Our croutons are cooking. He's in charge of the croutons. Oh, you smoked it out? Yeah, I don't like to use this hood too much. It's really loud, so it's hard for the mic to pick me up. So we're not making too much smoke here today. Anyway, so we're gonna make this dressing really quick. We're gonna add our cashews to our blender with our raw garlic. Okay. You guys know I'm a big stickler for following recipes. You can see I'm measuring everything. All right. Lemon. Again, I don't like to just waste the skin, so I'm going to quickly zest that lemon because we want to use the lemon zest. We don't like to waste. I mean, we took the time to peel broccoli stems, so I don't think we should waste the lemon skin, right? We have the time. Okay. There we go. That's good stuff right there. We want to use that. All right. Drop the lemon. Squeeze that juice in there. Not with this stuff, no. You could, yeah. You could. I mean, I'm throwing lemon scraps in there now, so it's kind of. I'd probably just put it into a little composter thing and call it a day. So we have our capers in there. Our cashews are in there. This is going to be lemony. Now we're going to add our mustard. Looks like about a tablespoon, yes. Great. So if you're using a blender, you're going to slowly add the oil. I'm using a NutriBullet. I'm going to pour the oil in now. It's going to emulsify everything just fine. It may be a little thick. If it's too thick, what do we want to add? Water. There you go. Good. Paying attention. Or you already knew that. That's a good point. Thank you. That's why I have you here. You do. You guys are always on it, man. Yeah. 2 tablespoons. Love that. All right. Let's see if this thing works. It is. There we go. Yeah, this is where you need your water. Anytime you're making salad dressing and it gets too thick, water is always the answer. So unlike a blender, sometimes you have to, oh yeah, that looks nice. You can see that. Yeah, looks like Caesar dressing. It's nice. We did something. How about that? I'm just going to taste it real quick. I'm sorry? Might need some. Yeah, that's good. Okay, perfect. What we wanted. Um, you don't need a lot of cashews, so you have to be. Cashews they're kind of pricey, right? So just know that I would follow the recipe, even though I didn't. It's really only a quarter cup is all you need. Because if you're only cooking for 3 or 4 people, I'm cooking for maybe 12 people, so 4 people, it's a quarter cup. You can probably get out of a bag of cashews, 6 recipes worth. So just be careful. Don't overuse them. More is not better. So you don't need a lot to get that creamy flavor. Just be careful. All right. This is great. Any questions? Are we burning our croutons? No. I don't think so. Yeah, they're good. I'll let them go a little longer. Every oven's a little different, When I say 350, some ovens are super fast at 350, some are not. Okay, so we have our cabbage, we have our broccoli stems in there, we have our onions in there, thinly sliced. We're going to add our olives. We have some watercress. Maybe you want to use arugula, maybe you just want to use regular romaine. Whatever you have. You can add white beans to this recipe. We've done that before. It's always good. If you're worried about protein or something, beans work well. We're going to add our olives. So at this point, you can crush your olives. These are already pitted, or you can just leave them in whole. Okay? We're looking for ease, right? I want to make sure there's no ice cubes in our salad. Extra hydration. Yeah, so you can cut these smaller if you like, or larger. It doesn't matter. But the blanching will help with the grittiness of the broccoli. Maybe you won't have all those little broccoli things stuck in your teeth, But you saw that was pretty fast, so it just takes me a little longer because we're cooking for more people. But there you go. There's that. So now what we're going to do is we are going to add our dressing, and then we'll put our croutons on everybody's plate when it's time to eat. We're going to add some watercress to this. What's that? I do need a bigger bowl. Talk to Lauren. It's good. I'm just teasing. No. They'll smash up. We put our dressing on. Okay. That looks nice. So dressing is nice and thick. You can make it plenty of days ahead. Yep. Yeah. Well, there's nothing that's really that bad in there. There's no like animal fat or anything, so I would probably say that that dressing would last about 2 weeks. Yeah. Just make sure it's not warm when you put it away. Make sure it's cool, and you should be fine. Hopefully we have enough dressing. We can make another batch if we need to. How are we doing on time? Uh-oh. Aren't bacon bits great? Would bacon bits make it better? I mean, bacon bits are gonna do what bacon does. It's gonna. I mean, I'm not a bacon hater. Yeah. Okay. Yep. At that point, you have a meal, right? Yeah. So yeah, if you're adding a bean or a grain or something like that, you have a meal, definitely a lunch. I mean dinner, it's fine as well. Okay. We'll clean that up, but I'm gonna get started on these. Show you guys an energy bite. You can see that stuff's coming together. Just use a bowl. Doesn't require a mixer. Everything goes in a bowl. I didn't measure a thing. All right? Isn't that the best way to cook? That's how we like to cook. Yeah, for sure. With measuring, guys, with the salad dressings, if you're just getting started, I would measure your salad dressing stuff, like the cashew dressing. I would pay attention to some ratios there, but something like this, I wouldn't worry too much about it. Everything's stuck together. The dates do a wonderful job of holding it all together, and then you just roll them up, line them up in a sheet pan, throw them in your refrigerator, and you're all set. Right? What I'm gonna do is just one here. Knock these out real quick. Shoot me some questions. With this, these are good calories, right? Yeah, I think so. I mean, you don't have anything really bad in there. I mean, the sugar could get a little out of control here. I didn't add the maple syrup. I don't think you need it with the dates myself. Spices are nice too if you're looking for different, like savory. If you want to go a little more savory than sweet, don't be afraid to add cardamom or something a little more bold. That's a lot of fun. If they get too dry while they're in here, just add a little more nut butter. That works well, or maybe another date or two to help bind everything together. They're very filling. I mean, if you eat one, you're well, for breakfast, snack, they are very filling. I think that's the dates at work. When I eat dates, I always feel very full. You guys good?
Yeah.
I have croutons for that as well.
I would never forget.
No, that's the best part, right? I'm going to set those right here. Okay? I hope you learned something. Yeah? Awesome. Yeah, I love these things. And if you're buying in bulk too, so think about it. I don't know. I have 2 boys at home. I buy granola bars, right? They're so expensive, but they eat them so fast. I'm like, dude, I just bought those and they're gone before the weekday even starts. But you can make something like this, really stretch it out. A little goes a long way. And maybe the upfront cost is a little bit more because if you're buying pumpkin seeds and things like that, dates, they do get a little pricier. But if you think about stretching it out, how far it goes, you get a good yield from it. More so than like spending $8 or $9 on 12 little granola bars. They're, I don't know. I mean, they're okay. I'm not here to bash granola bars, but just thinking about, if you're worried about pricing or costs, which a lot of people are because everything's so expensive right now. Okay. Any questions? They're getting salad together. Can you use fig instead of date? Absolutely, yeah. So a dried fig is going to work nice. It's going to act just like a date. Fresh fig might have, fresh fig could work. It's going to have more water in it. Yeah. Dried figs are nice though. You should have plenty of salad, right? Yes. Okay. As far as protein goes, specifically, I don't know about the nuts. I know they're all really good. I would say you're getting into like maybe your seeds and things would probably give more. Yeah. Yep. Hemp, flax. Yeah, you can always add supplement to it. If you're buying those powders, that would be fine. Just be careful, it'll dry them out, and then you're going to have to add maybe more butter to keep everything stuck together. I can make more of these if we need. Thanks, guys. Q, turning down the salad? I got you. Okay. All right.
Thank you for joining Cancer Support Community Atlanta for this program. If you're interested in other live or recorded programs, please visit the online program tab of our website, cscatlanta.org, or follow us on Facebook. We'll be sharing additional information on upcoming programs.